Insane passion.
Oh, would you believe it? A virtuoso strike from Dejan Kulusevski.
Same energy.
Here's Lucas Moura. Oh, they've done it! I cannot believe it!
Same love.
I want to win. I want to win the trophy, to bring success to the team, especially when you are captain and win the trophy.
Same team.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's who we're going to be till as long as I'm here.
Same Old Spurs.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.
Get behind the boys and up the Spurs.
Good evening and welcome to the Same Old Spurs podcast with me, Majestic, alongside
Gazza.
If you are watching the SOS podcast for the very first time, hello and welcome. If you are listening, and if you're watching us on YouTube, lots of you doing in the chat room now, welcome along. This is a weekly Spurs podcast, two lifelong friends who feel the pain of Spurs on a weekly basis. So this is their Monday night therapy, guys.
I tell you what, it didn't take long to sit here and talk about a defeat.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it was all great last week. New podcast, it's all looking shiny.
The mugs are out.
Got a rubber ducky, yeah, the duck's out. You got Richarlison on his knees having a good time. But yeah, it all comes crashing down to earth, doesn't it? After a poor performance of Palace, which we will get into. Of course, we won in the week in Europe against what are they going against? AZ Alkmaar.
AZ Alkmaar.
Where are they from?
From the Netherlands.
Who's from the Netherlands?
Return of Troy Parrott there.
Yeah, he didn't do much, did he? So listen, we are live on YouTube. If you want to put a message in there, we got lots of people saying hi already. Sophia's watching.
Shout out to all my nieces. I've only got one niece there, Sophia. And my two nephews, Arthur, Brody and Sophia.
The gaffer's watching as well. I think it's Steve King.
Yeah, he loves it.
He's not happy.
He's in full Negatron mode.
He's not happy at all. I had the voice notes earlier. So get involved. Don't forget you can follow us at Same Old Spurs Pod across all the socials. Plus, if you haven't done already, it's very easy to do. Click subscribe so you can find out when we're going to be going live. Got lots of new videos to bring you over the next coming season. We've got lots of specials as well. So please press subscribe. Let's build up that community. Let's build up those followers. It's Maj, it's Gaz, it's your Monday night therapy. It's SOS.
Same passion.
Oh, would you believe it? A virtuoso strike from Dejan Kulusevski.
Same energy.
Here's Lucas Moura. Oh, they've done it! I cannot believe it!
Same love.
I want to win. I want to win the trophy, to bring success to the team, especially when you are captain and win the trophy.
Same team.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's who we're going to be till as long as I'm here.
Same Old Spurs.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.
Get behind the boys and up the Spurs.
That's right. The Monday night therapy is in. I'm going to hand out my 2 weeks' wages.
Go on then, mate.
You've blocked in our stat man, so we can't go and get us our
Unbelievable, Jeff.
beverages.
Sorry, mate.
So does that mean I'm going to miss out on my drinks?
Yeah, mate, you have to sip water.
For
All part of the 365 project, mate.
Well,
See, look, it's all calculated.
I was as calculated as Ange's tactics at Crystal Palace, which were none. We've got lots of people giving us questions already. Hello to Keith Anderson, said big love from Ireland. Thank you, Keith. Hello. We've already seen him. We've already seen Ange out. Before we get into all of that, how was your week been, Gaz?
It's been good, mate. Yeah, it's been all right, mate. We had I met up with you over the weekend. We've done a bit of training, so that was nice. Enjoyed that. You got me going on the incline walk, so yeah, enjoyed that.
The weights?
Yeah, enjoyed the weights. You're teaching me how to lift weights properly. First time in my life. Piled into the Spa complex in the David Lloyd's. I tell you what, mate. What a high-class facility.
David Lloyd's Enfield.
Top draw.
There's nothing better.
Mate, you sure?
I'm struggling
I
to
tell you
find
what,
out
when
that.
we went out to Saudi, we had a little go there, and the hotel's a top drawer out there, aren't they?
They are.
But that David Lloyd's there. How much is that a month there?
It's a couple £100.
Because I had the my Pure Gym membership went up £2, 40 quid to 42.
But as you said before, you could stay all day there. There's so much going on.
You could stay all day there.
Very nice. So yeah, we were having a really, really nice time. And those that know, they know that we have these weekends. It's brilliant weekend. Friday I started in Dublin. I was at the Free Arena supporting Sonny Fodera.
What's that arena like?
Nice, big place.
Yeah.
So I had a good time there. Spent a load of money to come home on the first flight to watch my son play football. You know, I like to watch
the level of commitment for football is unrivaled.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going to miss Leo's football. If I could get back, I'll get back.
Yeah.
Watched the young Wormley team win 8-0.
Did he score?
He scored 2 goals.
I tell you what, we're mentioning that a lot. We were talking about him scoring goals every single week.
Scored every game this season. So I'm very happy about him. Well done, Leo.
Good boy, Leo.
So I got back. That was brilliant. What else happened on a Saturday? I'm trying to think what else Saturday. Oh, Saturday I watched the Beyond Chicago boys. Shout out to Louis and Will. I went to watch their gig at Box Park, Wembley. At Love Juice. They smashed it.
Do a bit, did they?
They did a bit. Yeah,
that's good.
And then we went on to Bournemouth for my gig at the old fire station, which was good fun. It was nice. I hadn't been on road with Louis and Will for ages. So it was nice to get back on
Not a
the road.
bad little run at the Bournemouth, is it?
Well, when you're sleeping, snoring, it's fine. I felt sorry for Louis on the way home because it felt forever. But then Sunday comes, and this is what happens with your Sunday. You know, you're looking at it, you're going, oh, here we go. Sunday morning, lovely, and a nice little breakfast. Got ourselves down the gym, didn't we? Had a good session.
Lovely.
Then we thought,
nice healthy breakfast.
we looked at the time and we went, oh, we need to go now if we want to watch Spurs. What did we do?
Well, I think we had a look at it and we made a calculated decision, match.
Yep.
Don't watch them.
Yeah.
Very, very simple.
Do you know what? That game, yeah, and we're going to talk about it now. Let's talk about how poor we were at Crystal Palace.
Oh, mate.
That game there, we kind of knew it. If you haven't won a league game in 8 games, if you won in the league all season, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, Spurs.
Mate, I tell you what, you're spot on.
Wasn't it written?
You know what it is? It's just, and you know what it is? It's the conversation you have amongst friends when you say that to your mate. You're saying it to your mate, but I'll flip the coin on that. Who else would you want to play Spurs going to Selhurst Park? They haven't won a game.
I know.
What an incentive for Spurs as well.
But you just know with Spurs.
Of course you do.
That's going to happen. There was 2 results I predicted at the weekend, and I should have put a double on it. Was Man United were going to get rolled and Spurs were going to get rolled.
Yeah.
Right? So
I didn't go. You know what? It's easy to talk like this, but I didn't back Spurs to get beat at the weekend.
Did you not?
Nah, I thought Crystal Palace haven't won a game all season. I thought Spurs are in a good moment, bit of momentum. You go to Crystal Palace and get the job done. But you got to apply yourself, man. You got to turn up on the day. And we didn't do that, did we?
We didn't do that. But I just don't understand why. And this is what we need to get into the questions with. And Simon is on the chat and he is not very happy at all. He's talking about the manager. There is so much negativity around that guy at the moment. Just to go off piece a little bit. Today, of course, Ten Hag got sacked.
Yeah, long overdue.
Well, you're saying that. Gazza won 2 trophies for them, right?
Yeah,
I know that was long overdue. Man United's a different beast, but does this now make Ange Postecoglou the most under pressure manager in the Premier League?
Well, it's difficult because the inconsistency is a real problem, not just for him but Spurs fans as well. One week we're hot, the next week we're not. I don't know how it's going to land for him. You look at the record there, Madge. We'll get onto it. I'm just going to touch on it here, if you don't mind. There, Spurs have picked up 56 points in the last 12 months, 38 games. A smaller points return than the final 12 months of every single Spurs manager since Juande Ramos. Pochettino, 58. Jose Mourinho, 64. Harry Redknapp, 69. And AVB, 69. That is damning reading.
It's not good.
It's not good at all. But it's difficult because however much you look to criticise the manager, and you can criticise the manager in games, absolutely. And I think that he's some of his tactical play at times have been so naive. But I'm putting a lot of responsibility and a lot of blame on the players at the minute.
Well,
I really, really am.
Let's just start with the lineup, because when that lineup came out, right, we looked at that, Gaz, and we said, look, Mikey Moore's in, played really well Thursday.
Yeah,
fantastic. I can't wait to see that. There was the back 4. You had Basuma.
8 changes, match from the Europa League game.
Yeah, but those changes in the Europa League were pretty sort of substantial, wasn't
they?
Yeah. But I looked at that team and I thought there's more than enough to go to Selhurst Park and try and get something. So for us to then go and be so poor, first and foremost, you got to give credit to Crystal Palace.
Absolutely.
Because, and this is the problem with the way that we're playing, is we are so predictable, right? So easy to read. All you have to do, if you want to beat Tottenham Hotspur, if you're another team, is just press us high, do not let us play, and put pressure on us from the back.
Yeah, I think you've got a soft group as well, an extremely soft group that turns up to grounds like that and just allows to get rolled out and just allows themselves to get rolled over much. Soft. Crystal Palace there, you got to go and match the intensity, the desire, the fight, the drive. If you can do that, and you should be able to do that, then our back Spurs' ability on the football to be able to turn out and churn out a result. But we didn't do what was required, and that was match them for the fight and spirit, mate. And that should be the most basic fundamental in football. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
That should be the basic bread and butter for it.
Listen, I understand it, and it doesn't matter what level of football you've played. You know yourself. You go into a game sometimes, and just you can't
It's
get
off.
into the game.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's one of them games.
Yeah.
And that was one of them games. You could see there was no point at any time during that game. I was thinking we'd have like scoring. It's like the Arsenal game. There's never a point during that game I thought we're going to get a goal. That was the same again against Crystal Palace.
But we're hoping that them games are going to go away. Different group of players. Remember me and you, we've always had a debate on this show. Is it the players or the manager? Yeah. Different group, different manager, same outcome, ongoing. Look, for people that are just watching for the first time match, I think it's important why we talk. I think we should talk about why we called our podcast "Same Old Spurs."
So it's great because someone did put in the comments
because
and it was beautiful because there was someone from abroad. They were like, "Isn't that like a negative connotation?" Well, it is a bit of a negative connotation because, as I said, Dr. Spurs will see you shortly at the weekend with Crystal Palace. You need the remedy. You need to get yourself sorted. Don't worry, go and see Spurs. That's what it is. I don't understand this like you said, like the softness, the underbelly of us is just so poor. You know, to go to Selhurst Park where they're already down in the dumps and allow them to flex.
Do you think look, for me, you look at the team news there, I know you might just touch on it, but I thought we called the team right. Every Spurs fan's going around, that's an exciting team.
Yeah, he did.
You know
Absolutely.
he called it right. So again, no blame on the manager there at this point in that game. Yeah, because like he's got the team selection right.
I agree. Look,
You know what I mean?
As you can see there, thank you to Louis and the wings, the team selection that we started with, Vicario, Poro, Romero, Van der Ven, Adogi, Basuma, Madison, Kulu, Johnson, Solanke, Moore. Now, that's a good team.
Very good team.
But the problem is, like, and we have waxed lyrical about some of our players there. Are they as good as we think they are?
Great shout.
Because maybe they're not.
Great shout. We've spoken off before we come on here on numerous occasions. We talk about our back four as being really, really difficult to improve on. Poro, Van der Ven. I'm Romero's biggest fan. Probably go overboard with him, but I really, really like everything he's about. But that's turning for me at the minute.
Is it really?
I'm seeing things that I'm not liking. Left back Adogi, Madge. Them four individually have cost us and made so many errors this year. Poro, Van der Ven's making a couple now. Say what you want about that pass that he received, Van der Ven. Basics in football, kick it out.
Well, should we have a look at that goal just quickly? Let's just discuss that goal because Mateta ain't scored in all season. Dr. Spurs will see you. Come along. Why not? I just think that it's so bad.
You look at that goal though, Madge, like playing out from the back. I don't think Spurs and teams in general play the territory game enough for me. I don't think that we've got a boy up front. What is he, 6'3", 6'4"? I think at times you can go long. Win the first ball. If you don't win the first ball, look to win the second ball. Don't see it enough.
Do you know what? I love that we're on YouTube because we can talk with our listeners here. Yeah. Guys, this is from Simon. He said, guys, this is our second best back four in Premier League history. It's the wide open system, guys. Now, what are we basing them being the second best defensive four we've had in Premier League history? What's that based on? Because what I'm seeing is we shipped a hell of a lot of goals last season and we're shipping a hell of a lot of goals this season. Now, he's absolutely right in saying messing about from the back. You know, the system that we play, the wide open system, is where we've come unstuck. But we're going to talk about the goals. We've just seen that there. That was nothing to do with the wide open system.
You can't blame the manager there for them got that goal at the weekend.
That's nothing to do with the system.
You've got a centre-half World Cup winning captain
who's just lobbed the ball.
Who's just had a little lob the ball in the box. Ange's not on the pitch. You've got Van der Ven, whose decision-making at that time, he's overcooked it, Madge. Kick it off.
I know.
Kick it off. For a throw and give away a throw. You can't keep putting the blame on the manager. So as I said, I'm not saying that Ange is the answer. I'm not saying that it's going to be longevity at Tottenham because longevity. Sorry, mate, show me Harry Smith there. I'm not saying that, Madge, because I do think you have got to pay real attention to detail, not just offensively but defensively. Don't think he does that enough. But some of the goals that we're giving away this season, round them up.
Emilio is absolutely right. So we haven't shipped that many goals this season. The problem is, Emilio, is the fashion and the way that we're giving away goals is so cheap. And when you're playing this style of football, it is just suicidal to give those goals away, because that is why we're losing games. And that is why we are not drawing games, we're losing them, because we're giving away stupid goals. Now, you go back to goals against Brighton, yeah?
Yeah, terrible.
Those goals against Brighton, Romero and Porro, who's got the man? Neither of them.
Romero lacks in his approach. You're looking at Dougie's defending from it. You're looking at Bentancur.
Well, then you go back to Newcastle. Newcastle's first goal was because Udogie couldn't clear his lines. All of a sudden, Newcastle were in play. Let's think, Arsenal set piece. Like, it's been from poor defensive errors that we've given away the goals, not necessarily the system. Now, I asked the question that, is the system putting under us a lot of pressure? So when we got the ball, because we've run so far back, you know, Romero and Van der Ven have so much space to cover because the fullbacks spend the majority of the time in the other team's half, right? Yeah. So they've got a lot of space to cover. I'm just frustrated.
But again, it goes back. Sorry to come in there, Madge. It goes back literally why we started this conversation about the ability. Yeah. Surely you can back them boys if we're raving about them that much to be able to do a little bit and be comfortable playing out from the back, deal with situations defensively. Yeah. Question marks at the minute, isn't there?
Well, you see Van der Ven on that one. He slipped over, didn't he? He has a bit of a slip. Had the same thing against Newcastle.
Didn't need the extra touch, Match.
Yeah.
Play it long, kick it
Did
off.
the same thing against Newcastle last season, didn't he? When you remember, there's that picture of him.
Love Van der Ven, but and look. By the way, what we do need to say is that he's a very young player.
Oh, absolutely.
He's a very, very young player, Van der Ven, and he's excelling and has excelled in a Spurs shirt. But he's a young lad. And
this isn't us putting the team to the sword. That's not what we're doing here. We're trying to understand what's going on, because even in the comments, someone said about the fact that we hit the post. Kulusevski had a chance that he should have possibly put away. Henderson makes a good save. Good keeper, Henderson, by the way.
He's nudged in front, isn't he, for the pick for England as well, isn't he? So look, Romero there, Match, another player, right? Again, I am his biggest fan, Christian Romero. But we grew up in an era, and I said it last week, and I say it, we grew up in an era where top centre-halves were seen as the generals on a football pitch. Centre-half, big strapping lads, dictating, demanding more from players. And I'm seeing there as a World Cup winning player, Argentina, and I'm not seeing enough, mate.
No, not from him.
I'm not seeing enough. And do you know what's sad in the modern game is that you can't pull up players. You're not allowed to say anything to people. There's not enough dipping out on the pitch when things go wrong. Do you know what I mean? And you talk about leaders. Heung-min Son's been missing for Spurs in the last 2 defeats. Brighton, and again at the weekend, doesn't necessarily lead by his voice, but leads by example on the pitch. Has he been a miss? I think so.
Yeah, well, on here as well, talking about the system. So why didn't we buy a decent defensive midfielder? Now, I go back to before we mentioned it, Højbjerg. I think it was a silly sell.
Yeah, I thought he saw himself as more of a first team player, didn't he, Madge?
Yeah.
And didn't
I can see why he'd want to go, but I just think if anyone's in a battle, Juan Højbjerg was a bit of a leader. I think you're right. The lack of leadership on that pitch is
leaders,
alarming.
mate. But they're, it's not just at our club. Manchester United, they're asking for him. There's no leaders there. It's up and down the country, mate.
Somebody said it yesterday. We was watching the Liverpool game against Arsenal, and afterwards, there's all paddy. Pardew one was
That's
fuming.
no good for me.
He was going, why is everyone so paddy?
No good for me.
He's like, and then I saw someone earlier tweet saying football is ruined. Oppositions are friends with each other. There's people just trying to out-tactic one another to the nth degree, so it becomes boring. Like, the modern game is becoming quite frustrating to watch. Now, with the Spurs system, I will say it and say it again. We need to go to a back five. The irony of it all, with Conte playing a back five. But you can play a back five positively. You don't need to play a back five negatively.
The wing-backs are there.
That's what I'm saying. Porro and Udogie are wing-backs. When they were bought... Udogie was bought for Conte.
I'm not sure on Dragusin.
Well, yeah.
And I'll be honest, I've called that from early. Saw again performance levels in the Europa League when I was at the ground, him and Ben Davies.
Yeah, but I will say, it is difficult to start trying to get a run of games together when you're not playing.
I hear that. But then what I expect is just do the basics well. He's overplaying at times, man. You just kept getting caught.
Yeah, but again, as I say...
I know he's trying to impress.
He's trying to impress.
Yeah, he's trying to impress, and he's finding it difficult. But look, man, you can go on with this conversation. You can keep it going for so long, because we talk about the game, but What was a big... I was listening to your radio show last night of Alan Pardew. Great show, by the way. And one of the main things you're talking about, again, is VAR decisions.
Yeah.
Madge, you can't touch anyone in the box.
No.
You can't do anything these days. You know what I mean? The game is just changed. I think it's gone too much over the other side. Really do.
On here it says about... James says, big up the SOS fan, the back five means we lose Madders and Kulusevski. Not sure about that long term. I don't think you have to lose, like... both of them. You can probably have to lose one of them.
Why do you have to necessarily think long term of it? Let's think short term and churn out a result.
Yeah.
Different formula, different way of playing.
But what
the answer,
what
innit?
you might lose from, say, a Maddison or a Kulu on the field is you're going to gain with Poro and Adogi actually being wing backs properly.
Yeah.
And being attacking what they're good at doing.
Be interesting to see how we move forward, Madge, because I tell you what, the player ratings here from the weekend. Yeah. Vicario 6. Porro 5, Romero 5, Van der Ven 4, Adogi 6, Bissouma 6, Kulusevski 4. How can you go from waxing lyrical about that guy last week to picking up a 4? James Maddison 4 seems to be an issue with him at the minute again.
It does.
Pulled off again. Brennan Johnson, delete your social media account again, please, because it seems as if ever since you reinstated that, things have gone a little bit slightly downhill. A little bit tongue-in-cheek me saying that, but more 5, Solanke 6. Poor.
That's not good reading, is it?
Poor marks, Madge. For a team that are seeing themselves and trying to get into the top 6 mixer, that's nowhere near good enough.
The only saving grace for us is that, the Premier League is really starting to set out, where positions are in terms of the 3 candidates for the league: Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City.
Yeah.
Aston Villa on the fringes of that. And then, if you look at the table, Gaz, up here, look at the top 3 there. Villa, I think they're in the mix. And Chelsea, mate, they've got too much talent in that squad. Cole Palmer, what a player.
Brilliant
He's
player,
unbelievable, isn't he? The Brighton and Forest one, see, that's where I think, you always get the early starters that do well. And again, Spurs have had some really poor results. And we're still up there. We're still in 8th.
Madge, the incentive was there for that group again going into that game yesterday to get yourself in the top 6. This was a team that was probably, not long ago, in the bottom half of the table. Get yourself in the top 6. Should Chelsea have not won, we'd have potentially got 5th. Matter of fact is, we didn't get it done again. Didn't get the job done again.
See, Gerard O'Connor, thanks for watching, mate, says we ain't played anyone yet except the scum. Now, I have to disagree. No, I disagree with that. I absolutely disagree with that because the Premier League, for me, this is why the Premier League ain't the Bundesliga or the Liga. There is not an easy game in the Premier League. You tell me an easy game. Manchester City beat Southampton 1-0, yeah? That's the Giants.
I don't necessarily think he's alluding to that fact. I just think if you put it on paper, we haven't really played any of the big guns.
Newcastle United at St James's Park's a difficult game.
Tough game.
We lost, yeah?
Tough game.
Arsenal at home, difficult game.
Extremely difficult.
I know Man United are terrible at the moment, and they have been.
Still a fixture that I think you have to put it down as being a tough one.
Yeah, you go to Old Trafford.
Yeah, I agree. Game. Especially with our history there.
Absolutely, yeah. Going to Brighton, the Amex, we've slipped up there a few times. Like, this isn't new. Like,
things I think you got to play Man City, you got to play Liverpool, you got to play Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Like, got to play Villa.
But I genuinely feel sometimes when you're playing the Cities or even the Villas or the Liverpools of this league, we get more joy because we get more space.
But you know what was interesting about the weekend? There weren't no low block from Crystal Palace at the weekend.
No, but they
didn't play a low block. Found it difficult to penetrate and create.
No, they didn't play low block. But what they did really well is they pressed us, they stifled us, and that made it very difficult to play. I
thought we had a couple. You know what? You look at the game, and I did think Tottenham had 2 decent chances in the game.
Yeah, they're 2 chances.
That one there, that good little move, Mikey Moore, Dougie down the left hand side first half. That little pullback. I thought Maddison. I'm fancying him to score that. I think he should score. Left foot just across the goalie. Second half, Kulusevski we get on the breakdown where I don't know. He took it with the left foot to finish.
Yeah,
pulled across it, take it with your right foot. Opportunities there, but look, nowhere near good enough, and didn't deserve to win at all or pick up anything at Crystal Palace yesterday, mate.
Yeah, I just think it was dreadful. The thing is, it's like these games can happen. They do happen, but they're happening too often with Spurs.
Yeah, that's the problem.
The difference is the Newcastle game where we lost, sloppy, again, individual errors, and that particular game, the system done us. But we should have taken all the chances we had. Brighton, we should have won. Palace is a game that we didn't look like winning at any point.
Yeah, agreed. Never really looked like doing anything there. As I said, they had a couple of chances there, but yeah, nothing. And spoke to a couple of people today, and the manager there, it was sort of a real lack of emotion on the sideline, and that's a contrast for what we saw maybe in the Chelsea game. Do you remember the Chelsea game? And what was the other game where you've seen him in pre-season where he demands, and what was it? And he's pulling out people saying don't go backwards and all that type of thing. Slightly a little different approach there from the manager. I looked at his post-match interview yesterday. Didn't really inspire me, Madge's words.
No,
wasn't inspired from it.
I'm with you on that.
Wasn't inspired.
Gerard O'Connor said, I think we just throw the lot at the Europa League, and I completely agree with you.
Throw the eggs in the basket.
In actual fact, we'll be talking about that. Are we able to give out some wages this week or not? Is that available? Because I think, you know what, Gaz? This is the first time we've done it on YouTube. Gaz, I need your 2 weeks' wages.
That's 2 weeks' wages for me.
Definitely 2 weeks' wages.
Gazza's 2 weeks' wages.
That's right. 2 weeks' wages, if you don't know what it is where Gazza decides to hand out a 2 week fine. So these people need to give their wages to us for 2 weeks. And after hearing those numbers, mate, it could be any one of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, like one thing that you look at, who's in the running, who's going to nick it. But for me, I have to give it to every single one of them of that staff that turned up on that team bus on Sunday.
We're not giving it to our mate Jukesy.
They're all getting it.
Everyone.
Every single person that turned up
and
represented Spurs on the team bus at Selhurst Park yesterday.
Oh, mate, Dan.
2 weeks' wages, because that collectively was a dreadful day at the office.
I can't believe it. Must be the first time in history that we've had the whole, not even the team,
the whole bus, the
managerial staff, the tea lady, the
nutritionists,
everyone.
They've all got it.
It's
It's
2 weeks' wages, and that, my friends, Louis, was 2 weeks' wages.
That's 2 weeks' wages for me.
Definitely 2 weeks' wages.
Gazza's 2 weeks' wages.
Well, we got the nasty bit out of the way.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry, man.
Well, this is why we do the therapy, mate. So if you are just joining us on the YouTube, we got a good number of people in the chat room tonight, which is really nice. Thank you so much for joining us. It really inspires us to be here. I want to thank, of course, Louis behind the camera. Statman.
Shout out to Louis.
Statman's just over there, probably talking to girls on the phone. Love it. So there's lots to talk about with Spurs at the moment, and we'll get into it. The numbers that you gave me there were alarming with the numbers that Ange has got in the last X amount of games.
It's a problem.
It is a problem.
Because 12 months, I think in a modern day, 12 months is seen as sufficient time in a job.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It might not sound a lot of time, but in a modern day, Madge, that's a long time. You know what I mean? How long has he been there now? Like over 12 months?
A lot of people in the comments having a bit of a ding-dong back and forth. Again, guys, remember, right? Football is based on opinions, and everyone has their own opinions. It's like, I don't like the idea and the content that people calling each other. I'm not saying it's happening in here, but like, people are stupid if they think in a different way to you. No, this is what's wrong with life and society.
Kev goes deep.
Do we need a sting for that?
Kev
but I was saying,
deep.
listen, it's like the American election at the moment. Kamala versus DT, Donald Trump. It's so great to be here. Gazza, is this Joe Rogan? Are you Joe?
I wish I had his
Are
money.
you Joe Rogan or Hulk Hogan?
I wish I had his money, mate.
Joe, it's so great to be here. And the rubber ducky is made in China, but I like it. It's very good, very great. Joe Rogan, Hulk Hogan, they're the same guy.
I tell you what, mate. Did you see Hulk Hogan's speech?
Oh, I saw
I
Hulk
tell you what,
Hogan's
get
speech.
that man on the bus.
Yeah, he needs to
Get
be
him
on
to
the bus.
Selhurst Park. He might be.
What you gonna do, brother, when Kudu gets 4 points out of 10? Right.
So good, mate.
So, but the reason why I was talking about that is because, listen, whether you're going to vote Trump or Kamala or whatever else, is like, so that's someone's opinion. Yeah, that's someone's viewpoint. Doesn't make someone stupid. That's up to them, right?
All entitled to one.
Everyone's entitled to one, and it's like,
You know what, mate? You know, as well as Spurs, I think there's so many different angles you can come with at the minute.
the biggest problem that we face right now is you've got a generation of Spurs fans like your dad, my dad, right, who are in their 60s, who were there when we beat Anderlecht, 1984, was it 84?
84, yeah.
84 Anderlecht down the lane.
Unbelievable.
Tony Parks.
So Parks.
Tony Parks, great shape.
Okay, they love to remind you, don't
They
they?
love it, don't they? My dad,
I've seen it.
I've seen it, been there. I was there, Wolves away, and the old Chevy fire, and we got chased. You know, like all the stories, right? So you've got that, all of that going on. People that
the Wolves.
Basically, if you look at it from like the 60s, where we were the double winning team, every decade we would win something. You know, UEFA Cups, FA Cups.
We were the team, weren't we?
League
The cream.
Cups. We were the cup team.
The song goes, we are the team, we are the cream.
Yeah. But we still, even then, we still weren't winning leagues.
Yeah.
We were winning cups.
Standard.
Right? But we got to the point of, was it 08, 09 is the last time we won?
Yeah.
So, like, we've gone a whole decade, a couple of decades almost now, with not winning. And it's just...
And that is a great time to bring up, Madge, because I think that is the catalyst for change. And what I mean by that is like, only until you start winning things and consistently will you then not go to Selhurst Park and see outcomes like that. I do think it matters, mate, because that group at Spurs, a couple of them might won a couple of bits and pieces here and there. But you go round like Liverpool and the big club City and all that and the trophies that they want and what they demand, not just from themselves but others, it's on a completely different stratosphere to what Spurs are in. Do you know what I mean? And until we start, but that is what we're hoping for, to buck the trend, lose the stigma that is Spurs have not won anything. But it's looking unlikely again this year, isn't it?
Well,
at the minute.
The thing is, and we're seeing it on the comments in there, like, you know, and this is what a lot of people have been saying about Ange, about, you know, like, he's underqualified, he can't do it. Like Simon said, he couldn't build a Wendy house. 33 years since an FA Cup. You know, but this, I think a lot of the anger and hatred towards Ange that I'm seeing from some fans is just sort of an undercurrent and a subconscious feeling that they've got towards perhaps Daniel Levy.
Potentially.
And they're taking it out on Ange. And I think it's a little unfair. The only thing I would do and will say is Ange has made life difficult for himself. Some of the statements he's come out with, some of the ways like handled in the media, you know, yes, he's absolutely right that he has won things in other places. But this is the Premier League, and not just the Premier League. This is Britain, mate, and we're so arrogant. Yeah,
his arrogance, mate.
No, but we're more arrogant than he is.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why we're more arrogant than he is, because we will completely diminish what he's achieved elsewhere. Because we're better than all of you, though. The Premier League's the greatest thing in the world. So if the Premier League's so great, why don't we win World Cups and Euros?
Yeah.
If the Premier League's so great, why didn't the Premier League team win the Champions League last year? Like,
when you're winning games, I love him for his arrogance. When we're losing games, I hate him for his arrogance.
Oh, but this is the thing.
That's where you're at with it. Like, unfortunately, when you're winning, you go, look at Ange. Do you see that interview? See what he said after the game? Wasn't it good? When you lose, you say the same thing, but in a negative way. That's a problem.
Yeah, but, you know, in the way... Listen, again, imagine you lot... So, you know, Ange's nice guy mask has slipped. Simon, we've seen that, 100%. You know, the thing is, if you have been successful in your jobs previous to the one that you have now, right, regardless of what it is, you're going to come there like, hey, I'm the man. I know I'm the man because I've won. So, like, when Jose Mourinho does it, because it's been in big things, we're like, Jose's the man.
Yeah.
Or Conte does it, he's the man. Because of Ange, one, because he's Australian, so there is a tad of undercurrent biasness against him, and because he's Australian, we don't really look at that as an Italian manager or Portuguese manager. There's just so many sort of undercurrent things with him. I just think, you know what? I'm the guy that's been saying to back him for a bit, right? I'm just at a point now where it just feels like it's getting toxic again. And the toxicity.
What it is he's unfortunately, he's in that place as a manager now where, like, he needs to keep winning. Because, like, if we lose once, they're on him. They're on him. We're all on him. Everyone's on him now. Do you know what I mean? Be interesting to see what happens moving forward, because they come quick and fast. I know the game's match.
Absolutely. You got a little bug on your mic or something. What's that? It is a little bug.
Oh, you follow me about.
He's
got the I'm talking about Spurs.
He's probably had a better game at Selhurst Park than most of our team.
Probably, mate.
Right. I'm sick of the negativity. Can we just have one bit of positivity.
Yes, mate.
It goes by the name of Mikey Moore.
What a player.
Let's talk about Mikey Moore for a bit, because this kid that I saw at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was just absolutely fantastic on Thursday night. Again, Thursday, first half, bored. I'm a nut. I think I was falling asleep. I was playing Sudoku, I think, on my phone.
Yeah.
It was very boring. Timo Werner.
You know what, as well? I'm sitting in that game with the stat man in the first half, and I'm like, Mikey Moore starts on the right, doesn't he? Timo Werner starts on the left. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying, and then it's strange in the modern day where you're saying it's unbalanced. He's right-footed, Mikey Moore, but that's not his position naturally now in the modern day. His position's on the left-hand side, and we saw what impact was made when the manager switched it up. Surprised he started that, but I'll tell you one thing, Timo Werner, you've been given enough chances, sir.
Oh, mate.
And that's one.
I'd rip up his loan contract.
You know what, as well, though, because there's a little bit in that where you go, do you give the manager a bit of credit there because he's trying to get the best out of the player? Well, what I'm going to go is I'm going to go flip that, is because that's an Ange signing. Committed to that one, wanted it. You know what I mean? Wanted it. A lot of money that he's getting paid, Timo Werner, and you've been playing him in an attempt that trying to make yourself look as if that was a good bit of business done. It's not a good bit of business done, and unfortunately now the more he's out on the pitch, the bigger problem it comes for himself.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And he needs to be taken out of the firing line that much. Yeah. And the manager did take him out on Sunday. But Mikey Moore, mate, what a player! It's
Simon in the chat is really. He might be more anti-Ange than my mate Pete, who's in the Spurs group.
They're not alone, Madge. They're not alone.
He's just amazing though, Mikey Moore. But again,
such ability, Madge. He had a nice little spell in that second half. The game was a poor game, wasn't it? Like there's no need to really touch on it, but like he just lit the stadium up in moments. And again, like. You're talking there because I think we could be talking about one of the best assists that I've seen with that little run in the outside of the ball. I think Brennan Johnson should do better there, man.
Should have done much
Takes
better.
it on the side of his foot when he should be putting his laces through it either corner.
Well, the other thing is, like, Simon has a point here. He goes, the Mikey Moore who Ange has consistently played Timo Werner over rather than Mikey Moore. Now, yeah, that lies with the manager. And, you know, I've seen in here some people said, but he's only 17, you know, like, don't put pressure on him. I tell you what, the Spanish... head coach, he trusted in Yamal, didn't he? In the Euros, and look what happened there.
I think that
if they're good enough, play them.
Yeah, I think, and I think that you've seen that now, and I think once the change happens, that's the change. It's done. Odegaard's back fit now.
Is he fit?
So yeah, you'll find yourself a player now, and Timo Werner has been getting a bit of game time now, fourth choice in that spot.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't expect to see too much of Timo Werner, especially with the honeymoon period, as I like to call it, the Europa League game's over.
Yeah.
We're coming into some top fixtures.
Heavyweights,
now. So, look, Mikey Moore, mate, signed that 3-year deal, didn't he, on the 12th of August 2024, day after his 17th birthday. The youngest Premier League starter in 31 years, beating Stephen Carr, record set in 1993, match, yeah? Tottenham's academy sensation, Mike. He's impressed with 14 goals and 8 assists for the club's under-18s last year. Scored a team-leading 4 goals for England at the under-17 Euros. So he's doing bits, mate.
Well, I believe Manchester City were really looking at him as someone. Now, if you've seen the players that have come out of Man City's academy, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer.
Unbelievable.
Rico Lewis.
You know what's mad? He only represented England under-19s for the first time last month.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that he's naturally going to go through the gears there and go for under-20 and get him to the under-21.
100%.
Yeah, you look at that, Madge, and you look at it when you're doing it for England consistently, and you've come into Spurs and you've shown that bit of quality. And I think there's been it's a tough word to use, but I think there's been a lot of hype jobs at Tottenham. Come through the academy.
Yeah, 100%. I've done it myself.
There's been a lot of hype.
Andros Townsend.
You get carried away because you're so eager for one of your own to come on and excel and put a white shirt on for a long, long time. But this boy's the real deal.
I was all over Andros Townsend when he first came through. I thought, he's going to be amazing. I swear down, I think I likened him to Bell at the time. That's
you do it because it's a natural thing to do because you're so hell-bent on someone coming through. Well, you look at Oliver Skip. Come through, didn't he? People thought I'm hearing people saying he was going to be the captain for Spurs for years to come.
Emilio Gaskin who's 100% back in Ange. It might actually be Ange Some stuff Emilio's saying.
He's engineer.
Said, only just 17. You can't rely on him. Timo's a scapegoat for the whole squad underperforming. I can't have that.
Look, it's clear football's subjective.
No. Timo Werner and the whole squad underperforming. No. Timo Werner has squandered chances that my 7-year-old son takes on the weekend.
He did in Europa League again.
Some of the chances that he squandered, if my son missed it on a Saturday, I'd go, what are you doing?
So he did in the week again in the Europa League. And do you know what as well? You're taking away moments from players who need an assist or need a moment to get them in the like I think some of them played a lovely couple of balls through to Werner in that Europa League. It just didn't quite happen there. But that Mikey Moore, mate, he's something to really, really
he's special. He's a special player.
I felt sorry for him. Turning up at Crystal Palace there, first Premier League start, and your boys around you, your so-called senior pros, your so-called senior players, not done enough.
But again, it wasn't like, when I say it's just not the game for you. It's not, that was just not the game for him.
I think you're nailed on, and you said this previously about some games you just find it tough, but I also think you're nailed on when you followed it up by saying it's too often with Spurs.
Yeah, it's too often.
And that's the difference.
That's the problem.
You know what I mean?
Well, Mikey Moore, a talent. Okay, let's ask the chat. This is why it's good to be on YouTube. Guys in the chat and girls, guys and girls, do you think Mikey Moore should be a starter in the Tottenham Hotspur team? Now, what I'm saying about this is, when we brought in Gareth Bell, he played, 38, 40 games before he started becoming the Gareth Bell that we knew.
Yeah.
He didn't win a game for X amount. You forget Gareth was with us for 6 years.
Yeah.
Long time, right?
Nearly out the door, wasn't he, from Redmond?
He was nearly out the door.
Yeah.
When you've got players like Mikey Moore, you have to play them. You have to play them and let them develop. The same way with like Archie Gray and people like that. If you're going to buy them, play them. Even the difficult experiences will help more developers.
He found it tough in the Europa League at right back.
Yeah. Page Dog says selective starter for Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore's problem at the minute is Heung-min Son, in my opinion.
Yeah, that will
because I think but what you have got is your replacement for Son. Moving forward.
Well, this is what we're saying.
Whether he goes on to do, if he does a half of what Son's delivered, we'd have a player there. But I just think that at the moment, when there's a big game to play, Heung-min Son's going to play on the left. We spoke about Mikey Moore playing off that right hand side. I don't think it's quite his position. No. He's not as effective on that right hand side. Brennan Johnson has been playing there, so there's not too many spaces up for grab match.
But it looks like what everyone's saying is he should be the second choice to Son.
Like he is, absolutely. And he is. He will be, because it's going to be interesting, because you can't write off Odegaard yet, because he played the first game and I've never seen as much rave reviews about a player. Didn't quite follow it up, been injured as well. So, look, you have to give him a chance. Again, that boy's only a young lad, Madge.
Yeah.
Young boy from Burnley. So you've got to remain a little bit hopeful that he's capable of doing a bit. So I think that everyone's nailed on there. Number 2 for Son.
Do you know what I'm not having, though? Right? He's only 17. Did you not see what Yamal did to Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Age is a number. Age is a
Definitely,
number.
we're finding it out more and more. If you're good enough, you can do a bit.
Look at the darts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Age is a number.
Yeah.
Like we're in a world now where these kids are coming through academies and stuff, and they're doing outrageous things. Odegaard on the right, maybe. We got options. We need Odegaard back to see what's going on. But speaking of options, it's just with the Ange thing, mate. That game against Villa. At home.
It's ticking, mate.
Mate, Wednesday we've got the cup with Man U City. We're going to talk about it soon. And then we got Villa and then Galatasaray. It's really bad.
Mate, I was lucky enough to get on your show with Pardew and yourself, didn't we? Spoke about Ange a little while back, about the clock started to tick. Mm-hmm. It's just however long or slow it takes.
10 are getting the old sack as well. That's going to make pressure even worse.
It really does. It's just, it started to tick. I can't see an outcome that's going to see Ange Postecoglou at Spurs for a long period of time.
Right.
At the moment.
If you're watching on YouTube, keep those comments coming in. Don't forget, press subscribe. Everyone in the comments, I hope you've subscribed. Let's do it. Subscribe. Make sure you're part of the community. If you're listening as well, head over to YouTube. Go find us. Same Old Spurs. It's Maj, it's Gaz, it's SOS. Right, it is the SOS with Magic Gaz. Monday Night Therapy is full in session. How are you feeling now, guys? You feeling a bit better? Now, Magic Gaz have been breaking it down. Lots of talk in the chat, like if Ange gets sacked, what do we do? You know, that's why I'm not really too keen on trying to sack the manager. I'd rather just The individual errors became fewer, and as I said,
I'm putting a lot of blame on them players at the minute. And as I said, I'm not against knocking the manager for when he does things wrong, because he's done things wrong many a time already in his time at Tottenham. But at the minute, too many individual mistakes costing us games big time.
Absolutely. Right. Should we talk about Europe? Because that's actually quite positive at the moment, isn't it?
It is. Well, look, I think we've been a bit fortunate so far, Madge, with the teams that we've played against. By the way...
I'll tell you what, the league table in Europe looks good, doesn't it? It's
yeah.
At the moment.
I also do think it's allowed the manager to give players minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're always rolling the dice because it is Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Yep.
When we make wholesale changes, history will tell you that it's not necessarily guarantee you a positive outcome. Yeah, but we've managed to come away 3 games, pick up 9 points, Madge. That's a tick.
Yeah.
This is cup competition. It's about winning games. It's about putting points on the board. So look, we currently sit in second place behind Lazio. I think we're going to lose. Going to bring up the table there. They've got a superior goal difference, but the next 3 games, mate, are real tests, and tests for different reasons.
Well, Galatasaray,
yeah,
Rangers. Here we go. Look, there's the table there, as you can see. Second in that league, behind Lazio, who I think, again, they're contenders. You got Ajax, Galatasaray, Eintracht Frankfurt. Lyon's in there as well. You can't write off Manchester United either. But that is a winnable trophy for me.
Has to be. It won't be if you turn up and dish up performances like you did at the weekend, because you get found out and you get beat. And that Galatasaray team, that's a team and a club that have invested heavily of late. Real test, hostile atmosphere. Let's go and see what our approach will be in that game.
Yeah.
Because you need to turn up. Look, Madge, Galatasaray next Thursday, 5:45 p.m. kickoff, followed by a game against Roma at the end of November. They come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Can I make a point about that? Have you seen that they've upped the ticket price for that one?
Ridiculous.
You're not feeling that?
Nah, why? Why are you doing that? It's expensive enough as it is over at Tottenham.
But they, I think it's been like 30 quid and 10 quid for kids. No.
In that, that's fair for me. I thought you meant from the standard price.
No.
Nah.
It's more expensive than the Alkmaar.
I agree.
Like
if you go back to the standard price, I couldn't have too much of an issue.
No. Well, some people were very upset about it. So I wondered what your thoughts were.
Well, I think
the chat.
I don't think you can really you can compare Karabakh to Roma.
No.
In terms of clout and clubs.
No.
So yeah, bit of a difference there. But yeah. End of November, that one, Madge. And then you have, look at this game for what a fixture. Pre-Christmas cracker in Glasgow.
Glasgow!
Rangers on the 12th of December.
Glasgow Rangers! It's new, I'm going up there, guys.
No chance.
I'll give you a Glasgow kiss. Aye?
Be interesting, that one, mate.
Tell you what, mate, my mate Johnny Reid from the Nightcrawlers, he's a big Glaswegian.
I still to this day don't know what he says.
Basically, this is just a chopped up vocal.
Fantastic
so
vocal.
It's just like little sounds from like a long vocal.
Absolutely sensational.
But that's because MK's genius.
Oh, there you go.
MK was the guy that produced it. Here you go. Better the DJ, the higher the price. Better opposition, the higher the price. Very true indeed. I don't know why our chat are talking about Gemma Collins.
Big games. Look, at the end of the day, mate, I think that Tottenham you're gonna be really, really find out. We talk about the Managerial. You got Manchester City on Wednesday, Madge. Yeah, Aston Villa on Sunday. You know what I mean? Galatasaray after that. That
sounds like a really bad Craig David song. Wednesday, I got Man City on Thursday. Then we got Villa on Sunday. And we go Galatasaray and get
beat on Thursday. Yeah, but it's a tough 3 games there, you know what I mean, coming up.
You don't fancy a trip to Galatasaray?
No, I'm not going to get me plane ticket anytime soon.
No? Tell you what, the food over there will be banging that,
I'll tell you what, you love it, like Turkish.
We love the Turkish.
Pre-365. Yeah. Or post-free pre-65 workout, mate.
I'll tell you what.
Tara Masalata galore.
I'd be there. Lamashun. You like
lamashun? Of course you do.
You like lamashun?
We love everything. Mate, I don't think there's a thing on the menu me and you don't like. So.
Lamb ribs?
Oh, that lamb ribs.
The thing is, I'm actually really hungry while we're recording this.
But yeah, the Europa League as it stands, mate. I think he's had a little. He's used it and he's got away with it. He's give people minutes. Have people done enough who you're asking to come in and try and contribute and showcase their capabilities? I don't think necessarily we've seen enough from them individually. A few of them, but now, imagine this competition. It's got to be like the teams in the Champions League.
I
On a
must-
Saturday and on a Wednesday, Villas, Man City, they're playing their strongest teams. We used to do it when we was in the Champions League. It's got to start happening for Spurs now.
Simon's in the chat. He said Curvan special.
Oh, it's high level. Okay,
Do you remember the Curvan special?
Of course. I tell you what, the Curvan special has gone from an affordable price.
Well, I was about to say that. Now you need to remortgage your house.
Of course.
Right? The first time I ever stepped into Curvan. Now, for those that don't live in the North London area, me and Gaz do, Curvan was probably the first of the big Turkish restaurants to pop up, right?
Definitely.
And the first ever one was in Edmonton, opposite the gym. And at first, most of us looked at it like, Curvan? It's not fish and chips. I'm not getting the shop in there.
Or, you know what, at that time we was banging on was the fried chicken and chips, you know that?
Yeah, or the Nando's.
If you get yourself down...
Nando's was the king at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But then it was
a
like...
little bargain butter deal from the Moody chicken shops, don't
Yeah,
we?
but we looked at Curve and you thought, I don't know about that. Me and Anthony, my mate Anthony, we went for a random Thursday afternoon, went into the Curvan, yeah? And we sat there, both can eat, you know what I mean? Come over, hello guys. We're like, hello mate, what can we have? I'll have I looked at the numbers, mixed grill, $14.95. I thought that's very reasonable.
You're having a little look at that.
I thought, I'll have a mixed grill. And Anthony goes, I'll have a mixed grill. He goes, are you sure, boys? I was like, yeah, we'll have a mixed grill each. Come over. It was the Curvan special that feeds 4 people. Right?
Unbelievable.
And at that time, that would have done 4 people, yeah? Both of us eating it going, I had meat in my fridge for the next week. Like, it was just there. Like,
You always used to get the box, didn't you? Have you taken that away?
I'd wake up with couscous just falling out of my bed. Like, it was crazy. But then that was $14.95. It's probably about 50 quid now for a special.
Oh, it's lumping, mate.
It's gone up big time because they've got us hooked. They got us in the door. They got us hooked. And then they put the prices up.
Also, because it's meant to be seen as healthy, even though me and you do it the most ridiculous, unhealthy way you can have it.
Why?
Well, we have the trimmings, don't we?
Well, the bread and
we
the
have
tarama.
The halloumis, we have the taramas. Like, you know what? When they bring a basket of bread over, we do 3 baskets of bread.
It is the best bread in the world. Anyway, we digress. It is a Spurs podcast, not a Turkish food restaurant review podcast. Although next week on the Turkish food restaurant review, we go into Enfield and go over to, what's that place at Bar FM? Axula.
Axula.
Next week we talk all
Axula's
about Axula. Majestic Gazza, Turkish restaurant reviews on YouTube.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.
Oh, I thought we'd better reset the show because we did just turn into a Turkish food review, which was fun because that's what the therapy is about. Sometimes I take our mind off. In the chat, people love the Curvan, the prawn sandwich. Yeah, no prawn sandwiches in the Curvan. So, anyway, we've been talking Europa, big games coming up in that. I say all out for that trophy.
Yeah.
You get Champions League football and a trophy.
You in agreement with me, no, Manchester, where we've seen the wholesale changes? Now
He's got to go strong.
Now it needs to be strong. You need
100%.
to start seeing it because the games are going to get harder.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people loving all our Turkish food restaurants references in the chat right now. If you do run a Turkish restaurant and you want to invite Magic Gaz down for a complimentary dinner and talk about your restaurant on the Same Old Spurs, get in touch at Same Old Spurs Pod. Okay, thanks very much. Right, let's talk about the Carabao Cup Man City in the week because I'm not going.
No?
No, I won't be there.
Busy day you got, isn't it?
I've got to do the Kiss Haunted House Party.
I'll tell you one.
And I'll tell you what, whilst Louis is on his Google, I feel like I'm on the Joe Rogan show. What's the guy on the Joe Rogan show called Will? And he's always like, can we get that up? Can we get that up? Can we find Art the Clown from the Terrifier?
I'll tell you one thing, you
Good
do a
photo
little,
of that.
you've done a little bit over the last few years.
Well, I've done a few looks.
Yeah.
I've done.
I like the Bane one you done.
Your Bane one. Because I do the Bane voice, don't I?
Yeah.
Bane, you merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it with big arms and Celtic. You want to play High Line? High Line. Why do you play such a dangerous game, Batman? You like the Bane? Here he is. You see that on the screen? Look, my new partner. Forget Gazza. That's my new partner, Art the Clown.
That's how I look after I've had a few beers, man.
To be fair.
the day after.
I tell you what, those who are listening right now, we currently have a picture of Art the Clown from the Terrifier up. So if you're listening rather than watching, go on Google and type Art the Clown from the Terrifier because that's the look I'm going for this Halloween.
You got to be able to do a little bit if I want to see the how that's going to look. On
Well, I've got a professional makeup artist doing prosthetics.
As you do, so you've thrown a bit at it.
I've thrown a bit.
Of course you do.
Right? So hopefully it looks good. The team at Kiss.
I'm still getting me Halloween outfits from the pound shop, mate.
You know, you should do an Ali G.
Yeah.
You should go as Ali G. Get the whole yellow one. So yeah, I'm not going to be there because I'm doing the Kiss Haunted House party, which will be fun. But it means I'm missing Spurs Manchester City. Now, we hear Spurs Manchester City, and immediately we're worried. Pep Guardiola's come out with some comments recently about that. You know, the team were exhausted. We're expecting a number of changes for City, aren't we?
Yeah, I think that what it's a cup competition that I think we've spoke about on the podcast, that Pep was the catalyst in turning this competition from being seen as something that was second rate to putting now a little bit of something on it, where teams have like gone for it over the last few years. Isn't it? This competition has grown in terms of its work.
Stature.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for, man. Just definitely grown in stature, and I think Pep was the catalyst behind it. But I do think that we have been helped out as Spurs fans by some of the comments made from his players this year about playing too much football.
Yeah. 100%.
So he's definitely going to be making a few changes. By the way, them changes are high class changes that he can still make there.
I know.
Son, so hoping Son comes back vital. He does a little bit against Man City.
He does like to play.
Last 5 games, Spurs have won just once against Manchester City. It was on the 5th of February 2023. 1-0 win at home in the league. Obviously, Man City beat Southampton in the last round. We made it difficult against Coventry, didn't we?
We really did. We were very poor.
So, yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. But it's a game, just like we have them conversations amongst ourselves. It's Spurs. We can lose this one. We can lose to Palace. We also say to our mates, you know what happens Wednesday, didn't you?
Yeah, we're going to beat Man City.
That's what we do. And that's the conversations that we'll be doing around, man.
Well, the thing is, if you go and beat Manchester City, regardless whether it's a second-rate squad or not, I think it allows you to have the confidence to go, well, we can beat anyone, you know.
Yeah, I just don't trust the group at the minute, Madge, because like there's been so many games where there's a lot riding on them, and they just seem to let you down. Like, so I don't necessarily think a win against Manchester City would automatically change the mentality within individuals in the group. Personally, I just feel that, mate, because they've you know what I mean? It's just there, that flaky side, that soft side, where you can go to certain games. Like, look at Coventry, the way we got through there. It required Jed Spence coming on as a sub out in the wilderness to go and save yourself.
I know.
Saved the day for us.
Did save the day,
Out in
indeed.
the wilderness, the man.
What do we reckon about in terms of starting lineup?
I think it's got to be the strongest team possible. What is that? That is the question.
That's the irony. After that, poor what are they doing?
The problem is
back four.
He's been opting with the 2 number 10s and he's been running with it. I think that probably needs a little tweak. And I'm a big fan of James Maddison, and I love him. But he's been playing in moments this year.
Yeah,
he's been playing in moments. There's been no consistency to his game. Been removed again at the weekend. Wouldn't be surprised if he made way. And Sarr was introduced. I want to see Bentancur back in the midfield. Do you know what's mental, man? We're talking about inconsistencies. Last week we was praising a manager for his work with the central midfield players.
So we are, mate.
And asking questions of them. He's gotten a little bit of reaction. Basuma scoring, Sarr with an assist. But you look at Basuma's output at the weekend. He's not a player you want to turn up at Crystal Palace with. He ain't going to roll his sleeves up, is he?
No,
he definitely ain't going to pull his shorts up. That's for sure, mate.
I wouldn't mind. He never really seems to play Sarr and Bentancur together.
Yeah, I think they had a little moment together, like last year, I can recall. Didn't really quite get going, but that's an area of the pitch. It's just at the minute, like one week it looks good, and then you're thinking, go on, then go and kick on.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen much. Then they have a couple of poor games, then they have a good game, then they have a good moment. Just inconsistent. Yeah. All of them. So it'd be interesting to see what he does in that midfield area. I had a little laugh and joke about Brennan Johnson, about the Instagram, him coming off, but I hope we don't get into a situation, because I think Brennan Johnson's one of them players that if he's not notching or assisting, his all-round game is not good enough.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So he needs to be doing a bit and in the numbers. So yeah, decisions for the manager to make. Centre halves will be as what they are. The back four will be what they are. Vicario in goal. Solanke or Richarlison.
Lead this man on fire.
We do. Does this man get the little gig?
Which one? Where with this camera? Oh, who's that? Richie.
Does he come in or for Solanke?
Solanke's hold-up play was great at the weekend.
Yeah.
He had no service at all. And Richie came on, his first touch was awful. Alan, we got Alan, a Palace fan. He says, go on, Palace. Alan, is that Mr. Pardew? It's not Pards, is it? Is Pards come on to troll me? Evening, gents. Love the pod. Bentancur needs to be playing Basuma miles off it yesterday.
Yeah, I'd like to see Ben. I'd like to see Bentancur back.
Bentancur against City. a bit of an intelligent player as well. I think, if I remember rightly, he played a good game against him away from home when Kulu first came in and started scoring. I think Bentancur played in that game. Bentancur has to play. It seems to be the call is for Bentancur in that game.
And do you know what, man? Do you know what the irony is that, like, and do you know what I hate about football as well at the minute, not just as Spurs, where you're like, let's get into half time because we go 1-0 down a lot. Why is that? Why are this group relying on a 15-minute chat at half time to turn it around for us?
Because we are, mate.
Do you know what I mean? When they got all of that prep, all them coaching.
It's the individual errors.
You know what I mean? You see it on the documentary match, the Spurs one, the attention to detail. Not just at Spurs, but all round. That'd be all round the world in games at the highest level. And yet you go, oh, we need to get into half time so the manager can try and rally him again.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
But you know what it is, guys.
Fired up from the start.
But you know this yourself, right? You've seen it yourself, right? You know, you can go into a football game, you can plan all of these things, and all of a sudden the game's just running past you. We've been in it.
Not me, mate.
Well,
my levels have been
extremely. Do you not remember walking off the pitch?
Oh yeah. We better not talk about that.
No, let's talk about it.
When was that?
That was against that team that we ended up winning about 7-1, and you had a heads gone because I'd done a really bad substitution, just to be fair. And the geezer who come on at right back I don't think he's ever played football.
You know what?
I could hear Statman Will laughing.
I think he had me on toast. Oh yeah, mate. Pipe down you over there, miss penalty, Will. What was I going to say? But I think he had me on toast, and I think that was the end of the day.
It did it. It was just literally, it's like, why have you brought him on for? He's rubbish.
Do you know what it is in Sunday League football, Saturday League football? Like, the things that, if you're a defender, the things that you could be able to do, when you're playing, what you need to do is get into vets and play against, we've always said this, have a leveller. Play against people that you can
run with.
Same sort of size. They got the belly. They got a little derby on. Yeah, you know, and you can run with. You can keep up with. Yeah, but what you do when you're playing against 18, what naturally happens is the leg comes out.
You kick them,
and then what happens is they back themselves a little bit, don't they? Because they're a rowdy group. They're a rowdy bunch. You're having a square up with an 18-year-old.
I did that.
I don't need it. You know what I mean? Let's go. I'm ready to walk off the pitch. Do you know what I mean? I do not need that on a Saturday and Sunday. Hence why the football days are over.
Matt Barden says, what is that Richie quote about Vinny Jr. potentially not winning the Ballon d'Or? That can't be real. Is there a quote? Will, could you have a quick look for a stat, man? Do the research over there. But yeah, Man City at home. But when we play them, like when they beat us in the FA Cup last year, they didn't really batter
I fancy Spurs on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And that's wild. But I just know what this club is, what we're about.
Flaky.
We just probably turn it on there. And you know what I mean, the crowd will be with them. And I don't know. I think Spurs will win on Wednesday. Yeah.
Right. It's Majestic Gazza. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, like Naked Alan in the chat. Let me have a quick look before we go. Richarlison to France football apparently said if Vinny doesn't win, Ish is going to go down. Yeah, he's not winning because he's apparently not leaving. Yeah, Fabrizio's giving. Here we go. Right, so don't forget, subscribe if you're just watching us, including Naked Alan. We got a guy in the chat room whose picture is a bit strange.
Those are time for Naked.
His clothes off. Why not?
Shout out Naked Alan.
I bet he feels free. He's topless. So he's topless. Here's a question: we're crying out for a leader in the team. Who would you realistically sign to do that? Looking around the Premier League, who do you sign? Yeah, remember they got to want to come to us. That's difficult. It's going to have to be someone probably from Brighton or somewhere, isn't it?
For a leader, natural leader, right? Do they exist? If you look at Brighton, it's probably a natural one for them. It's probably Lewis Dunk. He's over the hill.
Yep.
He's finished. He's had his time. Mate, in the modern day, the production of winners and not necessarily winners but leaders doesn't seem to be.
Well, leaders now, like a leader's considered someone that will go onto your Instagram and post and go, "Hey, bro, you know what? You were thick today."
This is exactly it.
You're thick today. You know what? I'm going to link you later at training. We're going to do a TikTok.
But
that's going to be the thing.
That is exactly... You're 100% correct.
Should we do TikTok together?
But you are 100% correct.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And it's all changed, mate.
Everyone's saying... Emilio's quite right, actually. Adam Wharton, a great game yesterday, to be fair. Right. Anyway, let's get into it. It's Majestic Gazza, it's SOS. Right, it is the Same Old Spurs podcast. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us on this Monday evening. Don't forget, if you are listening to us, go over to our YouTube channel, subscribe right now. Last week we built up the subscribers very nicely. It's been a good week. Like I say, I got to thank Louis, Will, all the guys of the team for making this happen and giving up their time to do the podcast. Gaz, I believe you have a quiz for me.
Yeah, we ain't done one for a while, have we?
We
So
haven't.
I thought I would give you a little 5 questions.
Can I get like some crazy quiz music? We might have some crazy quiz music to go with this. Ready?
Yeah, loads of
Let's
time.
see how it sounds. Big up to Mams. Mams is in there.
Shout Mams.
Page Dog, Emilio, Tellboy,
Shout
Matt
Page
Pardon.
Dog. Top man he is.
Got lots of the SOS fam in here right now, which is really nice. And it's very important that we keep thanking these guys. Is that my quiz music? Right. Okay, Gaz, let's get Gaz's quiz
I'll tell
up.
you he's done a bit there with the music. Well done.
Here we go.
You ready to go?
Let's go. This is
Question
Gaz's
1.
quiz.
Please join him. On May the 5th, 2010, a Peter Crouch goal saw Spurs reach the Champions League for the first time with a 1-0 win over Man City. Can you name the starting 11 for Spurs that day?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, we deliver.
Right, in goal was Aurelio Gomez.
Yes.
Right back, in the back four,
Go on.
Akoto.
Yep.
Did Ledley play that? I think we shipped him out for that. Yunus Kabul.
Yep.
And right back, Chimbonda.
No.
Oh, Alan Hutton.
No.
Oh, wow.
Another centre half they went with.
Oh, another centre half.
Yeah, so Kabul might have played right back that night.
Yeah, he did.
He
Yeah.
did for the goal, didn't he?
Yeah, he crossed it for the goal.
Yeah.
Here we go. They're getting involved here as
Come
well.
on in, join in.
Right, let me go midfield now.
Missed one out of the back match.
I know. I'm trying to get it.
Ex-Forest player. Revered at the club, Dawson.
Dawson, Mikey Dawson. Up front, Crouch
Yep.
and Defoe.
Yep.
And then in the midfield would have been Tommy Henderson.
Yep.
Was Lucas still there?
Yep.
Luca was
One
still
more.
there. Lennon.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Azza, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What a lovely fella as
He's
well.
a lovely fella.
Met him at a charity like thing. Seen him as well with his little piece today about his mental health and stuff
Yeah,
like
it was
that.
really good.
What a top player.
So can you just confirm that?
So here we go. Aurelio Gomez. Also, there's one player more. Sorry, Gareth Bale. How can I forget Gareth Bale? So Aurelio Gomez, not in any particular order. Gomez, Bale, Kabul, Dawson, Ledley King, Asu Akoto, Tom Huddleston, Aaron Lennon, Luka Modric, Peter Crouch, and Jermaine Defoe.
Wow.
Question number 2.
I did all right there.
Yeah, you did all right there, to be fair. On the 4th of February 2004, a 90th minute John Macken goal saw Manchester City come from being 3-0 down to win 4-3 with 10 men.
That's 2004.
Who got sent off on the night for Manchester City?
Joey Barton.
It was Joey Barton. Well done.
I watched that game at my brother-in-law's house, or my brother-in-law's nan's house. Shout out to Luke. Yeah, mad.
Yeah, there you go. Question number 3. Name the former England goalkeeper who has represented both Spurs and Manchester City.
Former England keeper,
Yeah.
Joe Hart.
Yeah. Poor question.
Yeah,
There you go. You're right. You're doing all right here, aren't you?
doing okay.
Number 4. Here we go. Which former Spurs defender left in the 2008-9 season and joined Manchester City?
2008, 2009.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Read it again. Which former Spurs defender left the club in 2008-9 season to join Manchester City?
Oh, that's a difficult one. Oh, I'm really stuck on that. 2008, 2009.
Which former Spurs defender left in 2008-9 season to join Manchester City?
Someone's saying Thatcher. Surely not. That was way after Thatch. I worked with Thatcher's son.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you want it, or do you want me to come back to it?
Go on. I'm not going to get it.
Vedran Chorluka.
Did he go City?
Yeah.
Ah.
Manchester City after Spurs.
Plus. 2008, 2009?
Yep.
No way. Chorluka.
How can you doubt it? Yeah.
Chorluka. He went from Spurs to City.
Yep.
But Chorluka played in the Champions League for us.
Mate, Google it. What's that, man?
Statman, we need a double check on this, man.
Double check one, yeah.
We need a double check. Chorluka played in the Champions League because I'll tell you why. I remember.
He did go to Man City, I remember it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you now, I think Chorluka came from Man City, bruv. Where did you get that from?
No, he didn't come from Man City.
I'm sure. One sec.
No. Statman, how long?
Statman, he's doing it now. Chorluka
left City for us.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Is that a schoolboy then?
I'm thinking,
tell
you're
you
getting 4 weeks' wages.
tell you
in
what,
okay.
that
I know Chorluka played against AC Milan because Gattuso took him out, and the whole wrong gay. Other way, thank you. Get out. Here's a duck. Take it back to the pavilion.
I tell you what, that website that I've done that bit of research today, they're going to be shut down.
I want you to name showing the website.
I'm going to have to out that website, mate.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's poor.
The mumps find Gazza. Gaz, you've had a shocker. Thank you.
That is a shocker.
I knew it was wrong. 0809, I'm like, Chorluka was playing for us.
Oh, everyone calls it. But the last question.
The last question.
Flamini will take that as an answer.
The last question from Gazza. Dimitar Berbatov went to West Ham.
Who has won the FA Cup more times? Manchester City or Spurs?
Oh, Spurs, easy.
I don't know. We have to check this. Check it.
That's Spurs.
How many times has Spurs won it?
9, wasn't it?
8.
Oh, is it 8? Oh, yeah, 8.
Man City 7.
7, yeah, they're coming for us. They were just more Spurs through and through, unlike these days.
If we sold Chorluka to City, then leaving needs a knighthood.
2 weeks' wages, Gaz.
2 weeks saving.
Oh, brilliant. I think that just didn't make sense.
Absolutely disaster. I've had a disaster.
Gang, I did well there, didn't I? I did well, YouTube.
You know what? This is the when you're doing this live. There's no room for
no, but I like the fact this is the warts and all of doing the thing. But thank you for putting together a quiz, guys. I enjoyed that. But yeah, people like saying
just
about
put a proper quiz together with questions.
No, but people are talking about the team that we had back then. Guys, you always got to remember, like, things are always seen through like rose-tinted glasses when it comes to the past. When you're living in the present, like, don't forget when we had people like Luka Modric and Gareth Bale and that. We were losing 1-0 to Stoke at home, West Brom at home. I can go through it. This is why we didn't succeed with those players.
Oh,
either.
yeah, absolutely.
The whole thing of being Spursy, yeah, right, is a thing. Like, I just think sometimes we're so quick to think of all the highlights and like.
I'll tell you what, Tellboy84 there, decent man, Gaz out the website. That website is that I'm making a whole section of out in them.
They need a 9 weeks' wages.
Absolutely made me look ridiculous tonight.
But honestly, I want to look back at some of the results that we had with those players in. And the kind of games that we'd lost. Because if we were that good then with those players, we would have won stuff. We didn't. We didn't win. This is the whole problem. The problem is deeper than, and again, we never go forward. We get to a point and then we revert and we go again. And this is the problem with this situation that we now have with Ange Postecoglou. We are still trying to recover from the Pochettino era. Yeah? We went for the Portuguese stripper. That didn't work out. We went for Conte. That didn't work out, right? Emilio says, it is true, but I love them players. They were proper Defoe, King, Crouch. We knew they weren't the best, but they're Spurs through and through. Who's not to say that these boys aren't Spurs through and through? We don't know that. I look at Mickey van der Ven and I think, he's Spurs. Like he seems Spurs. You got to remember, it's because it's fresh. It's still new. Like, when things are new and you're bedding in, that you've got no connection to it. There's no love. There's no... And again, we're looking at moments with Spurs over the last 10 odd years where we've played some great football, some great players, right? But exactly that, Matt. We've always had quality players, but inconsistent teams. That sums up everything. Like, when we had Luka Modric, we had Zakora. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you'd have a Luka Modric and you're Zakora.
Everything's just ongoing. It's just ongoing, unfortunately. And that we mentioned it a while ago. That's why we called this podcast what it is.
Same old Spurs.
That is what it is, because like if you listen to us, we're not them fans who go, same old Spurs, and when we rub it and go, we talk about when we're good, we're going through it. We've gone through it. We're going to continue to go through it.
5 seasons deep.
But at the end of the day, and the matter of fact is, it is and still is of today. Same old Spurs, mate.
I love that Harry team, but we beat Inter and lost to Blackpool in the same month. Exactly, Matt. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Wellesley's right. Llorente did bits. I think people look back at people like Llorente, even Idagur Johnson, mate. Idagur Johnson used to come on the 70th minute, bully a load of people and nick a goal. Like, I liked Idagur Johnson when he came. Like, SOS, that's who we are, mate. It's exactly who we are. I just think, right, this is going to be, the end. Remember Jerry Springer? Jerry. We had Jerry's final thought. I'm going to give Madge's final
Steve's
thought.
walking over, isn't he?
You're Steve, I'm Jerry.
I'm Steve.
Yeah, you're Steve. Steve.
Steve.
Right, this is my final thought, yeah? when you're trying to build something, or even in our case, rebuild, I don't know what we're rebuilding because we won nothing, yeah? We're trying to build something. We have a very young squad. There's some talented players in that young squad. There are going to be inconsistencies on the way. We know we're not Manchester City, right? We know we're not Liverpool. Look at Liverpool's squad. And what Liverpool remain to do is keep hold of people like Salah. Our Salah's gone. Kane's gone. He's long gone. So we're still reeling from that. As much as he annoys me, yeah, because he broke my heart, he's gone now, yeah? So that was a player that would get us out of trouble time and time again. Those games that he would have got out of trouble would have been the Palace game, would have been the Newcastle game, would have been the Brighton game. They're the games that Harry Kane would have got us out of trouble. And all of a sudden, it looks completely different. You know when Emilio says they feel like proper Spurs, life is different now, yeah? It's not just Spurs doesn't feel like Spurs. Music doesn't feel like music. Going out is rubbish now. We are all traumatized post-COVID, yeah? Right?
I can't remember it being this long at the end of the Jerry Springer show.
It was, right? There's a lot of things in the world right now that don't feel right. Our souls don't feel right. All the things that we love, even going to the Spurs, everything has been commercialized and corporations run things. Football has become that now. That energy that you used to have walking down White Hart Lane on a Saturday afternoon, the smells and the feelings, the noises, they don't feel the same anymore, even when you walk up to the new stadium. Life is very different now. But what I'm saying is when you look back at the Van der Vaarts, the Foes and all that, yeah, it's because that was the past. And the past is always, you don't remember losing to Blackpool, you remember beating Inter. That's the thing. You remember the highlights, not the lowlights. With Ange, Big Ange Postecoglou, mate, the time is ticking on you, sir, yeah? And you need to make sure you have got a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. It's the Premier League, mate, yeah? It's the Premier League, mate. I know who you are, right? So, it's as simple as this. Spurs have Man City on Wednesday. It's a cup that we need to try and go and win. Go and try your hardest. If everyone goes and puts out a decent display and we lose, we lose. If we put a performance in against, like we did against Palace, then we're going to be annoyed. We're going to be annoyed and peed off.
I agree.
So
Big Steve's putting in the overtime bill here because that was a long final word.
it was, Steve. I'll give you an overtime, but that's the overtime you owe me for your terrible answer in the quiz.
Yeah, that was absolutely terrible.
Guys, it's been a pleasure.
Yep.
You can move your car now. We can get some Diet Cokes. Guys, don't forget, if you haven't done it, I know it's really boring, right? Thank you. Everyone's an unbelievable show. Great show, boys. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, the same time next week, we'll be in here talking about Spurs off the back of Villa at home, Man City in the Cup. And I just want to say, I know it's boring. I know people say all the time, but please subscribe because you get notifications of when we're on. And I must say, there's so many different Spurs podcasts out there and they do a great job. Why listen to the SOS? Because it's going to be honest, it's going to be non-reactionary, and it's also a community. It's a feeling of us together. This could be done in a pub. We could all be sat in a pub and Simon going, Ange, Madge, go get me a pint. You know what I mean? Tell boys be like, yo, Madge, when you're up there, get me some the old scampi fries. Scampi fries, good, aren't they?
They're a high level, mate.
They stink, but they're great. Anyway, subscribe. If you're listening as well on the normal Spotify outlets, etc., take a moment of your day to go to YouTube and just press subscribe. I'm going to challenge, here you go, because we had good numbers this week. I'm going to challenge you, the SOS listener, the SOS viewer, to get to 1,000 subscribers this week. Help us. Help us by telling your friends. Help us by sending the links over and saying, go and watch this. This is really good. If you like what we do, if you're enjoying it, please press subscribe and share the word because this is the way it's going to grow. From Madge,
Gaz,
this has been SOS.
The Same Old Spurs podcast with Majestic and Gazza.